Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. Okay, so it's been a busy summer and I may have missed something, but I did not miss this one. Apparently we are getting some spoilers right now from, I think it's called Magic Foundations, I believe, which is like a Jumpstart-esque type product, which is coming out, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but like early November. I think like November 5th or 15th or somewhere around there. Regardless, it's more like a starter set, essentially, for new players, but that doesn't mean that we are going to get some heavy hitters in this set as well. Ones that, well, definitely are going to see a ton of play. Let's start off first up with Vengeful Blood Witch. Yeah, this spoiler when I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, Wizards, we're getting to the critical capacity of Blood Artist type effects where at some point in the near future, like, 3 years down the road, maybe 4, we're going to have, like, oh, it's an entire deck of just Blood Artists, basically. A 1/1 Vampire Warlock for 2 mana in black. Whenever this creature or another creature control dies, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Now, Blood Artist, this is not. That being said, it's still very, 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 very good. It's going to see play in life gain strategies. It's going to see play in like lost strategies. I mean, like aristocrat style strategies where it's really going to see play. I'll highlight a few commanders here, but the difference obviously between this one and Blood Artist is that this only cares about creatures you control. That being said, it does not specify non-token, which is huge. Whereas Blood Artist says, hey, 0/1 Vampire, I guess technically the new Vampire Warlock Vengeful Blood Witch has more power. There you go. That's where it makes up for it. 0/1 Vampire, that costs 2 mana in black. Whenever another creature dies, target player loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. This one, again, I guess technically you can target yourself if you really want to do that. That's another difference. That being said, this one counts every single creature on the field, right? Any creature dies, including your opponent's creatures, your creatures, does not matter. It will be draining opponents. So, it's yet another Blood Artist type effect. It's not quite as good, but still it's going to see a ton of play because it's such a good effect. Even if it's limited to your creatures, that's usually enough for it to see play. Teysa Karlov is the type of commander that might want to utilize this one. Just as an example, Aristocrat style, 2/4 Human Advisor for 4 mana in Orzhov. Creature dying causes a trigger ability by opponent you control triggers twice, essentially. Creature token control Vigilance, Lifelink. Ignore that part. What matters is, again, basically double up death triggers. So obviously, yeah, double up draining someone. That's absolutely fantastic. Edgar Markov, it is a vampire, which is a very relevant creature type. It's also low to the ground, so yeah, Edgar Markov decks are probably salivating right now and be like, yes, another vampire. I mean, there's already so many great ones out there, but still, another low to the ground Blood Artist type is going to be great. I guess Warlock Travel could use it too. I'll read this one really quick. Basically, Eminence, so free effect, essentially, until you play it. Or even when you play it. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if it's in the command zone on the battlefield, you make a 1/1 vampire. Again, low to the ground vampires are great with this. First strike case, attacks when to counter each vampire you control. Lots of ways to win, including, yeah, Blood Artist type effect, draining, so yeah, go wide strategy. Yeah, I think overall, this is going to see a good amount of play because, yeah, Blood Artist type effects, even if they are more limited in their scope, again, only targeting, one opponent, only being on your creatures, that is still fine. It's still going to see a good amount of play because, yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. Also relevant creature type. Next up, 9 Lives Familiar. This is a spicy card. 1/1 cat for 3 mana in black. This creature enters with 8 revival counters on it if you cast it. Revival, have we seen revival counters before? Let me know in the comments below. I don't believe so, but it's just funny like how we just get all these different names. It's like, okay, yeah, charge counter would be weird on it, but whatever. Okay. 8 revival counters on it. When this cat dies, if it had a revival counter on it, return to the battlefield with 1 fewer revival counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. Basically, this cat has 9 lives. Very, very spicy. Very, very, applicable to certain decks out there as well. This is literally a creature that your opponents cannot get rid of. Unless they, exile it. But outside of that, if they're not exiling it, you are getting so much value out of this. In Aristocrat style strategy, again, like I talked about earlier with Teysa, yeah, it's like, okay, I got death triggers like Blood Artist thing. That can happen like 8 times with this. 9 times, I should say. Sorry, 9 times with this. Essentially, you're not going to get back that last time, but of course, there's ways to use and abuse that. This is just like, again, some ultimate creature fodder against the beginning of the next end step, not your next end step. So it's not like you're waiting like an entire turn, like a Phyto Titan thing essentially comes to mind. Like that one's 6 mana though in green and like happens at your upkeep when it comes back. This one's like, no. Every single end step. So with each trip around the table, With 4 opponents, you can sacrifice this thing, if you got an outlet, 4 times for whatever value you are getting. So that is absolutely huge. And, 9 times in total. It's kind of like a reassembling skeleton in a way. It's on that same vein. It might not see as much play because, this one you can keep getting back, even afterwards. But, it might also see more play because, you're getting it back for free. There's, some weird combos you can do this one, too, where you couldn't do that with, the 9 Lives Familiar. Though there also are combos that you can use with it, I am sure. But, yeah, this one you have to pay 2 mana, basically, to get it back from your graveyard to the battlefield. You can get it back whenever you want. Versus the, 9 Lives Familiar is going to be coming back, just whenever it wants to at the end step. That being said, this one does come and play tap. The other one does not. The card actually reminded me of the most is actually a color break, from the card, actually. Gift Immortality. Chain creature dies, turn the card to battlefield under its control. Turn Gift Immortality, attach that creature beginning of the next end step. I guess I shouldn't say color break. Both do reanimation type effects, bring back type effects, but just slightly different. So, yes, being able to keep getting it back again. This one doesn't have, an upper limit, obviously. This one, does, just keep going back again, perpetually. So, 9 Lives Familiar is going to be a very interesting one. Again, when it comes to, Aristocrat style, yeah, Savra, Queen of the Golgari makes sense. Sacrifice a black creature, you may pay 2. If you do each other player, sacrifice a creature, green creature, gain 2 life. The more important thing here is that first part where it's okay, I sacrifice my 9 Lives Familiar. Each of my opponents sacrifice a creature. Cool, nice edict effect. Again, comes back at the end step. Okay, let's sacrifice another creature. Cool, next end step. Comes back with another creature. So essentially, this is, edict effect 9 times for your opponents. That's absolutely lovely. They're not going to have any boards, so good for you. Or, how about proliferate? This is where you probably could get, infinite combos going on. But yeah, Xavier Salt Infested Captain, a 3/3 Human Fungus Pirate, because that's the thing for 3 mana in Sultai. Tap, move a counter from the perm you control, populate, active on sorcery. So again, this cat does give you a lot of opportunities to utilize that populate if you want to do that. Though you might not want to get rid of, those counters. You might want to tap, sacrifice another creature, outside of that 9 Lives Familiar, and then proliferate active on sorcery. So again, being able to be oh, okay, cool. My cat gets another counter. Yeah, it's going to have more than 9 lives in total. I'm going to be good to go. So overall, yeah, an amazing piece of creature fodder that I think has a lot of applicability, some combo potential as well. It's slower combo potential, right? It only comes back at the end step. So it's combo in a way that you can just perpetually keep getting it back and it will never go away permanently. But you can't just oh yeah, okay, infinitely get it in here there's something skeleton, because this one does come back at the end step. So very interesting, very effective. We'll see where this one sees play. Next up, very simple, very effective Anthem of Champions, enchantment for 2 mana. Finally, it has happened. Very simple. Creatures you control get ++1. This is a card that I'm kind of surprised we actually haven't seen up until now. It's kind of interesting because, yeah, Wizards has been kind of edging its way toward this for a while, and now it's finally there. Enchantment for, I should say, 2 mana in Selesnya. Did I say that? Regardless, it is a 2 mana Anthem that does not specify only these things. This is, I believe, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on this, but our first Anthem on enchantment that basically just does this blanket Anthem for your creatures. Doesn't matter what those creatures are. In the past, we have seen, of course, Intangible Virtue, which is a ton of play. Creature tokens you control get +1, have Vigilance. Again, this one does give you more than just the +1. Also Vigilance, lovely, but it is specific just to creature tokens. Then, Rally the Ranks. Another example, enters the battlefield, is a creature type. Creature controlled the chosen type get +1. Or that tree, whatever, from Lord of the Rings, that's white, and it pumps your legendary creatures. Ones are very specific for the 2 mana ones, right? They have to be specific, so it only benefits certain things. You're getting it down super early. That being said, Gaia's Anthem again, which just is that blanket, creatures you control at +1. Glorious Anthem's the exact same thing in white. They kind of combined those two and said, hey, you're paying just 2, but you are paying, 2 mana of different colors. So it's a little, it doesn't take long at all to fix your mana in that way. Obviously, you can just get it down super early in most decks out there. When it comes to commanders, I might want to consider this one. Kudo, King Among Bears. Yes, please. King Among Anthems as well. A 2/2 bear for 2 mana in Selesnya. Other creatures have base power notice 2/2 and are bears as other types. Basically, every single creature is a 2/2, including yours, including your opponents. Doesn't matter what they are, they're just 2/2. So, hey, if I get some Anthems in play, my creatures are just bigger. Literally, you could just play this on turn 2, your other card on turn 3, and all of a sudden your opponent's oh no. and have 1 extra mana lying around too. So there you go. You can do some crazy things with that. Obviously, for commanders that can really take advantage of anthems like this one, or yeah, Enchantress style commanders, of course, Sithis Harvest Hand, a 1/2 legendary enchantment creature Nymph for 2 mana in Selesnya. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So yeah, a 2 mana now cantripping anthem. What's not to love about that in a deck like that? Depends on the build of the Enchantress, obviously, but still, yeah, it's a very good low to the ground anthem. Basically, are you in Selesnya? Yes. Do you already have anthems in your deck? Yes. If that's the answer, then you want this one because it's just strictly better than many of the, 3 mana anthems out there that are just more broad. Like, I mean, the ones that are broad for like all creatures get +1/+1. If you're very specific on what your deck wants to do, again, creature tokens, then yeah, Intangible Virtue might be better, but still, it's a very good, anthem to throw in any kind of an anthem type strategy. Next up, Helpful Hunter. We're starting to get more and more of these. At 2 mana, we've got a 1/1 cat for 2 mana in white. When this creature enters, draw a card. Low to the ground, card advantage. Not even card selection where it's like, draw a discard or whatever. No. This is straight up card advantage on a creature. Like Wall of Omens style. Like, it's not the best blocker, obviously, compared to Wall of Omens, but it can still attack. It also does have a very relevant creature type. So, I guess when it comes to, like, cards it's more like are, like, Elvish Visioner, which is a decent amount of play. 1/1 Elf Shaman for 2 mana in green. Obviously, Shaman's also relevant in very specific decks out there, but Elf Tribal is much more applicable for most people out there. Enters battlefield, draw a card. Yeah, this is, again, she's playing a lot of Elf decks out there, so yeah, you can say the same thing about, the new Helpful Hunter with cat decks. Spirited Companion, this is a newer one. I think it was Kamigawa, right? A 1/1 enchantment creature dog for 2 mana in white. Enters battlefield, draw a card. Basically, exact same card. This is, though, I guess technically enchantment, so it's a little different, and a dog. So Enchantress decks consider this one, wouldn't be considering the new one. That being said, yeah, if you have Dog Tribal, you're like, yeah, this. Cat Tribal's like, yeah, that. Delny Streetwise Lookout is yet another one that could consider this, though. Like, low to the ground Tribal. Creatures control of power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures power 3 or greater. That's nice, but more importantly, if an ability you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers additional time. So yeah, again, basically draw 2 for a 2 mana creature. Absolutely lovely. And of course, like I mentioned, Cat Tribal. So I guess this is somewhere where Spirited Companion could be in as well. You have dogs and cats living together. How does that work? When you cast a dog spell, make a 1/1 cat. When you cast a cat spell, make a 1/1 dog. You can pay 3 tap. Deals damage, equal number of dogs you control. Gain life, equal number of cats you control. Lots of fun to be had. But yeah, Cat Tribal specifically, or like Dog Cat Tribal. Obviously, you could see play in that too. Also, just like Brago type strategies like Blink, like ETB, abuse ETBs left, right, and everywhere essentially. Yeah, that could be a good one as well. Next up, Prideful Parent, a 2/2 cat for 3 mana with vigilance. Enters, create a 1/1 cat creature token. I mean, this one's just kind of more so like okay. Like the other ones, I think do have a good amount of decks that they could see playing, especially that Vampire, especially the 9 Lives Familiar, especially the Anthem. This one's more like, okay, like, I could see some decks out there being like, yeah, I want it, but mostly it's like, Arabo, Cat Tribal. That's pretty much it. Because when it comes to creature token production, if you are going that direction, and you're at, like, the 3 mana, usually you want 3 creatures out of a 3 mana creature token generator kind of thing, I should say. 1 effect, making 3 tokens, costing 3 mana. We already have those out there. There's that one makes goblins. You've got, like, Weaponcraft Enthusiast, which has Fabricate for 2. Those kind of things out there. So you can, like, go wider with your creature fodder for 3. This one's more like, hey, okay, I want a bunch of cats in play. Great. Arabo's like, cool, have all the cats. At the beginning of combat your turn, if it's in the command zone or the battlefield, cat gets +3/+3. Whenever a cat you control attacks, you may pay 3 mana, essentially. If you do, it gets trampled and gets +X/+X for power. Again, if you're going wide in cats, this could be a consideration. Prideful Parent. Finally, the final non-reprint, I should say, some reprint ones are going to be coming in this set as well, and I did not include these on this episode because this is spoilers, not reprints really. 2/3 Cat Beast for 4 mana and white. Lifelink, when this creature enters, put a counter on each of the 2 other creatures you control. This one, I don't think really is going to see like any play in Commander like at all. Like maybe a life gain strategy could consider it very specifically. Maybe a very specific cat deck could consider it. Maybe a very specific counters deck could consider it. But, like, typically this is just not... It's not on par with, like, the other cards I've talked about so far in this episode. Definitely not those first 3, which are, Yeah, I do think are going to be cards, again, that do see a good amount of play. Yeah, Anthem of Champions. I guess I should go through real quick. Anthem of Champions, 9 Lives Familiar, as well as the Vengeful Blood Witch, I think are each cards that definitely could see a good amount of play out there. And again, it's a starter set, so the power level is going to be lower. It's kind of like the opposite of like Modern Horizons, where it's like, oh my gosh, that, and everything. The power level is going to be lower, but still, like, you get, like, some upgrades. You can see, now, like, again, like, the actual Anthem itself, or 9 Lives Familiar, like, a good amount of creature fodder with that one. The Anthem is finally like, something we haven't seen before. You're still getting some good, powerful cards, so definitely pay attention to Foundations, because I think it definitely can... It's going to be, like, more simplistic cards, but, like, could be, again, showing, like, the power, the power creep that's been happening is going to show up in this set. So we'll have to see. Let me know what your thoughts are on all these in the comments below. Stay tuned for even more Foundation spoilers in the future as well. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.